I just started out.
I think Mark's going to start.
I got you.
Mark, not start.
Mark, dinner's ready.
All right, everyone, welcome to our press conference leading into the season opener against Monmouth. The game will be here at Floyd Stadium at 6 o'clock on Saturday, and it'll be on ESPN3. The way we'll do it here today, we'll begin with Coach Stockstill, who'll have an opening comment and then answer any questions you may have, and then we'll turn it over to our two student athletes. So with that, I'll turn it over to Coach.
Thank you, AC. Appreciate everybody being on here this morning. Exciting time for us here at Middle Tennessee, as well as everybody across the country as college football gets into full swing this weekend. So we're excited about it. We've had a good summer. We've had a good August camp. Monmouth is a really good team. Not a lot of people here in the South have probably heard of them, but they're a really good football team. They've won their conference back-to-back years, and they lost a close game here this past spring to the eventual national champion at the FCS level. So we know and anticipate a really, really competitive game coming in this weekend. So, but I'm excited about our team. I love our attitude. I love where we're at right now. And I know we'll be ready to play this game. So just, again, I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys being on, and I'll turn it over to you guys.
Hey, Coach, Cecil Joyce here.
Hey, Cecil.
How you doing? You ready for the first week? You fired up? The team pumped up?
Extremely excited about it, Cecil. I know the team is ready. It's, you go 3.5 weeks of, practicing against yourself, and you get around, you start hearing the band playing and the cheerleaders practicing and walking around, students on campus and everything. It's that time of year. And as a competitor, as an athlete, as a football player, this is an exciting time. So I'm excited, and I know our team is as well.
Coach, just one quick question for you. Obviously, you had a lot of position battles during the offseason. Are all those pretty much settled at this point, or do you still have 3-4 days to settle any of those?
We've got 5 days. There's competition. We've got really good competition at a lot of places, and I'm not in a hurry to name anybody a starter. It's the opening game, and they haven't put out their depth chart yet. So why should I put out mine? So I like our team, Cecil. I like where we're at. And we'll be ready to play, and whoever goes out there first is offense, kicking, defense. They're going to be ready to play as well.
Hey, Coach, Sam Doughton here.
Hi, Sam.
Not only is Monmouth, it had a really good year last year, and it's had some years that have been really good the past couple of years, but they're also returning a lot of those same guys back. I think they're returning 21 of 22 starters on both offense and defense. So, what are some of the things that experienced group does really well that you've seen on film when you guys have been preparing?
Well, anytime a team returns a lot of starters, a lot of guys that have played, it just enables you to do more offensively, defensively, in your kicking game schematically. That those guys have played a lot of snaps. When you have experienced players, what they can and can't do. There's a trust level as a coach to player that you can put them in certain situations, and they'll perform in it. As a coach what you're going to get when that ball snaps. So they're an older team. They got a lot of 6-year guys because they were afforded another year like everybody else in the country. So they're a good football team. It's a mature football team, and I'm sure it's a confident football team with what they've done the last 2 years.
I think preseason they swept the preseason player of the years, and they were almost a unanimous pick to win the Big South again. Who are some of the guys that you guys are, potentially preparing yourself extra for that you're seeing early on film?
You're not preparing for anybody any extra. You prepare for a team, but their quarterback, I'm impressed with their quarterback. He gets the ball out quick. He's got a quick release. Looks like he can make all the throws. He can run, also extend plays. So I think he's a very dynamic player, and has had a lot of success there in his years as a starter. So he's a good player. They got a big offensive line. Their defense is maybe not quite as big, but they can run. They're athletic. They got good guys on the perimeter, and their linebackers can run.
And obviously, when you're playing an FCS team like this, you guys are going to come in with a substantial advantage on just, guys who are maybe operating under scholarship have a better depth advantage. How important is that going to be for you guys to be able to use your depth, particularly the extra year that you've had for a lot of your players getting extra eligibility?
Their players got an extra year of eligibility too, so that's not an advantage or anything there. And just there's so many unknowns in a first game. And I think you can throw out the level of play, especially when you're playing a team like Monmouth, who is, came pretty close to winning the national championship last spring. So this is a very good football team, and we've got to be prepared mentally and physically to play our best.
Finally, you guys are going to have, more fans in the stands than you guys have had in, over a year now come this weekend, expecting a pretty decent crowd for the season opener. How excited are you and your guys to have, a full crowd to feed off of in Floyd Stadium this Saturday?
I hope it's a great crowd. I hope it's better than a decent crowd. I'm excited about it. Our players are excited about it. As a competitor, as an athlete, that's why I tipped my hat to those guys last year to be able to go out, whether you're a basketball player, baseball, or football, and to go into different arenas and play in front of empty stadiums. That's almost like practice, and athletes feed off the energy of crowds. To be able to play in front of their friends, be able to play in front of their families is what athletes, strive for. And it motivates them. It gives them that little extra juice. And so I hope our crowd is loud. I hope they get there early. I hope they, have a big impact on the game, because they can. And we're excited about, playing in front of them.
Stock, you said you weren't going to name any starters to this point, but kind of characterize the competition at some of the key positions so far in camp.
I think at receiver, and I've said this, probably since the summer, that I think the top to bottom, that whole group of guys are probably as good a group as we've had here, maybe ever. And, those guys, they come to work every day, and we've got good size, we've got good speed, we've got good quickness there. And there's good competition there at the receiver position. In the offensive line, I feel the same way, that we've got some really good depth there, and guys are still fighting for the number one spot, and the threes are fighting for the number two spot. We got good competition at the quarterback position between Bailey and Chase, and those other guys, Mike and Nick, have come in and have done a great job also. And then at running back, I think all those guys have had a really good summer. A couple of them have been hurt and missed, a few days, but getting back. But, Amir, I think, has been really, really good, the entire time. And, Mob's gotten better, Brad's gotten better. Frank Pizant's missed some, but, has done a nice job, and Martell Petaway. So all those guys, we've got good competition, and the same goes at corner. on the defensive side, I really could say it at a lot of different positions, but probably every position on offense has got good competition. The corner position, and even in the defensive line, those guys are fighting every day, to see who's going to go out there.
Coach, going on what you just said about the competition level, it sounds like at least you feel like you have a lot more depth coming into this season in a lot of positions than you did last year. How important is that entering the first game?
I think it's critical. And, we lost depth, last year because of injuries, and then we had quarantine, issues with the contact tracing stuff, so you got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared for that throughout the course of the year. Not only do ankles and hamstrings affect you, but now you've got to worry about, contact tracing with guys going to class and all that stuff. So you can't relax as a coach. You can't relax as a player because the depth chart could, change, fluctuate daily just because of everything that's still going on.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach. We'll
Appreciate
now
you
begin with
guys.
our student athletes.
Hey.
Fire away, guys.
Hey, Reed, Cecil Joyce with the Daily News Journal here.
Hey, Cecil.
Talk about your excitement. You came back this season. I know you came back with a purpose in mind. Talk about, your feeling toward this season and the depth you guys have and just the optimism surrounding you as the first game approaches.
Yeah, all of our guys are very excited. Especially not having a real season last year kind of put us in the dumps. But we were very young last year, and we all knew that. But we got all of our young guys that are mature now. This team, I'm so proud of them. I'm so excited for the offensive side of the ball too. We got some great dudes, and just having that feeling that football is back is just putting the mindset that we're ready to go. I'm just very excited for this first game too.
Reed, we've talked a lot today about some of the guys who have an extra year of eligibility, both on Middle Tennessee's roster and on Monmouth's roster. You're obviously one of those guys that was granted that. What's y'all's super senior group like as a group, really, in using that year of eligibility, and how excited y'all are for this, what could be y'all's final year?
Yeah, just getting that extra chance, it means a lot. You never really get a lot of chances in life. And this is one of those moments that you got to take advantage of. And I believe that our senior group is very mature. We've been around each other for as long as I remember, honestly, and just creating that bond and relationship, means a lot. And I'm just ready, excited to go to war with these boys and just to see what they can prove.
What are some of the things that y'all have seen on film when you're preparing for Monmouth so far? Obviously, first game of the season, that could be a ton of film, but when they're bringing back as many players as they're bringing back, there's going to be some similarities come Saturday.
And like I said, they got a lot of people back too, which, they're mature. But their quarterback, he's a good player. They got a good running back and two good receivers. They just get their players that, have talent at the ball. And that's just one thing we got to stop. And I'm very confident that we can.
Reed, how improved do you see this defense being this year? I know last year you gave up quite a few points. You got a lot of good guys back, though, and a lot of guys off injuries back. Talk about what you think this defense can do this year.
I think we could be one of the top defenses in the country, and I don't really say that a whole lot to anybody, but I really have a lot of confidence in this group. Like I said, all the young guys matured. They know what their job is, and, it just kind of makes my job easier. I don't have to really worry about what's going on with everybody else. It's more of I can do my own job, and then I know the guys beside me are going to do their job. And it all goes back to maturity, and I can't wait to see these boys compete.
Coach Gilstrap told me earlier this camp how you've taken a lot of his cornerbacks under your wing to help them understand coverages a little bit better. How's their development come along as a group with y'all being able to, maybe work a little bit more off of instinct now that y'all know the playbook a little bit better as a group?
It just makes everything easier. They're starting to understand it a lot better, which they're starting to communicate in the language that we want. We have a certain language that we talk about. We can't just, throw out random splurges, the verbal type stuff. But they're learning the defense really well, and their personalities have really changed. They're a lot more comfortable. Especially Jalen Jackson. He was one of the guys that he was the quiet guy, but he finally came out of his shell. He's so confident, and when he plays with confidence, he can roll. That's one guy I'm very excited to see play.
Reed, what do you see as the strength of this defense?
I believe that the strength of our defense is just, doing everybody's job. You can't worry about everybody else. Just be mature about it. Know what you got to do, get your job done. I know we worked a lot this offseason on third downs and in the red zone. I know we weren't, the top-notch team in that sort of aspect, but I believe we worked on that a lot this offseason. We know the importance of it, and we're ready to compete with that.
As a defense, you guys competed against an offense that's going to have a little bit of a different look this season than maybe what Blue Raider fans have been used to in the past. What are some of the things that fans can expect from your perspective as a defensive player?
Actually, they're going against the offense that we're going against right now. It helped us a lot because that's what Conference USA teams are moving towards, a lot of 11 personnel stuff. And we needed more reps at that, and it just got us better. It got our offense better. I'm just excited for both sides of the ball.
Anything else for Reed? Thanks, Reed.
Thank you.
All right, now we have running back Amir Rasul.
First and foremost, I want to say good morning to everybody, and I want to say thank you to Coach Stock for allowing me to come up here this morning.
Hi, Amir. Cecil Joyce with the Daily News Journal. How you doing?
Good, and you, Cecil?
I'm doing well. Amir, talk about the depth you guys have now in the running game after you missed last season. Petaway missed last season. You guys have some real horses back. Talk about the optimism in camp.
Oh, man. Everybody can play in our backfield. And anybody that gets in the game can either break a big run or make a big catch or even pick up a linebacker when needed. And I just feel as though that has helped us, with everything, because if one of us go down, the next person can go in, and we can still keep the train going,
I mean, you're Sam Dowden with GoBlueRaiders.com.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. Just for you personally, after opting out of last year, how excited are you to get back into that game environment for the first time in almost 2 years now for you in particular?
I'm extremely excited about this moment. I've been taking heed to it every day since summer has started, since I got back on June 6th. This is all I've been thinking about. I've been watching Monmouth since probably early June. And this is really my last year, and I'm trying to make the most of it. And I know everybody on our team is trying to make the most of this year because we think we can do a lot, and I believe we can do a lot.
Amir, how's this team looking under this new offense? I know a lot of people are excited about seeing this year, but how's the team reacted?
We're extremely explosive, and we're very receptive to Coach Dearman's installations to the offense. I think he brings a lot of explosiveness, and I guess he brought us the plays, and we make the plays explosive. And I feel as though the team looks extremely good on both sides, including the kicking game. I feel like we can all get the job done.
You say you've been watching Monmouth since June. What are some of the things that they do well defensively that y'all are preparing for Saturday?
They hide their blitzes very well. And they send a lot of corner cats. into the boundary. And so that's something I've been looking for. And also like the way their linebackers play. They like to drop into coverage and kind of see where the ball is going.
Part of Dearman's emphasis when he came in was running the football, and particularly with his halfbacks, which is something Middle Tennessee has not done, maybe to the extent that they're going to this year for you guys. So just how exciting is it to be a part of that group and potentially have all of you guys in the room get a chance to make an impact every single game?
It's exciting. It's exciting. Like I said before, anybody that's in that room can go out there and make a play. Anybody. Whether if it's running, catching, or blocking, everybody is ready to make those plays. And that's all I got.
The RPO offense, you're talking with Dearman, is a lot about reading keys and making the right reads on the defense every play. How much of that stays the same week to week for you guys, and how much of it is something that maybe you adjust depending on the opponent, with how the reads might work?
It just depends, some things really stay the same. It may be a small adjustment here on this play, maybe a small adjustment here on the next play, but we never want to get away from our base and what we do. And we do what we do very well. So they just have to stop it.
Anything else for Amir? All right. Thanks, Amir.
Gotcha.
Thanks, everyone. And remember, we'll be back here next week as the team heads to play Virginia Tech, and I'll get that link out and get it to everyone later in the week. All right. Thank you.